Hello, everybody. I'm already working in my folder week 8 and continue using Microsoft Visual Studio Community Edition as my source code editor. And I already changed my current directory in my command window right here to week 8 folder. And one big thing to talk about this week is this homework project 9 Python. Okay, so we have a list of specification here to discuss. So my general recommendation is to study all material covered in the current book chapter. At the beginning, you just need to kind of study every example presented there as usual. And you simply cannot make a lot of progress with the new programming assignment simply because you have to study all the basics about dictionary object in Python. And then you can come back to watch the rest of the videos in this part of the course. By the way, I recommend that you briefly glance through these very nice tutorial articles right here, which also relate to material about Python dictionaries. And you can get comfortable. Just make sure that you get comfortable with the Python syntax and sample code presented in these materials. But don't get trapped too much just reading. Let's work on our project. And if you have a question, you can always come back to these tutorials and read more about specific dictionary function. Okay, so I assume that you right now will hit the pause button and you do some reading. And okay, now you're back and ready to start coding our next programming project, the phone contact app. Okay, so this is what we're going to discuss next. So some very similar ideas are already covered in the current book chapter. Lots of very similar things which I have in mind right now with this new app. So let's see what we can do. So number one, this program is going to work as an endless loop, and it will simply display a user prompt like this: phone contacts app, enter question mark for help. So I'm assuming when the user enters a question mark, we print some informative instructions like this, right? So this section, this is something that you can print. And this is at the same time is a quick functional overview of what we are going to deal with. So we're asking the user to type a text to search for a matching contact or phone. Right, so this is one of the things that we should be able to do. At the same time, the user can just hit the enter key, just enter an empty string and hit the enter key, and display all existing contacts. Okay, so if they enter and just hit enter key, we will display everything that we have. To display these instructions, of course, you enter a question mark, and to add a new contact, use this format, the plus sign followed by name and followed by phone. So here's an example that you would expect user to type in order to be able to recognize it as a request to add something, add a new contact to this phone contacts database, right? Database in memory. And something that I would like to mention right up front about this addition of new contacts, this interactive addition of the new contacts is optional. Okay, you don't have to write any code for it unless you want to. Instead, you can simply pre-populate a few hardwired contacts for testing purposes, and we have some examples throughout the rest of the videos. We're going to see different variations of what we can do as an example. And always I start with some pre-populated items, pre-populated contacts, and then we work through the example. So no points are deducted if you just simply ignore this addition of new contacts. Okay, you really don't need to write it, don't need to write interactive code. However, if you do implement contact addition, 20 extra points will be awarded towards your final grade. Okay, so note that contact names right now, as we have them, right, they're just they're not restricted to anything. They can have characters. They can have alphabetical characters, punctuation, numerical values. But if you find it to be easier, if you decide to implement this addition part, right, which is optional, if you find that specific format, restrictive format, just like, for instance, one single word for contact name, simplifies your coding, then you can do it. Okay, and likewise, you could probably restrict phone numbers only to digits, but unless it's absolutely necessary, no such restrictions are required. Just find a way to add new contact, and you'll get these extra points towards your final grade. Okay. So now now the technical requirements, right? So let's talk about the technical requirements. The major part here is that all contact data must be stored in Python dictionary. Okay, so that's pretty much the bottom line. Okay, and we already know that Python dictionary is a series of key and value pairs, these sort of items placed in a single container. So dictionary is a container, a sequence of key and value pairs. So the advantage of using the dictionary is it's providing very fast access to individual items stored in the dictionary simply by using a key. Okay, if you have a key, you can retrieve an item super fast. Although you can have, like, thousands or sometimes even millions items in the dictionary, retrieval by key is fast. It just takes, very, very short time. So when we display existing contacts, when we display all of them, or we display them as a result of the search, we need to write the loop which prints a nicely readable, pleasing looking report, right? So this is why I say here, please do not just say print contacts, which prints this cryptic output like this. This is not acceptable. Okay, so this is not acceptable. We just need to write the code which prints this very readable report with some nicely looking heading and then individual items listed like this. So now let's take a look at this example of pre-populated 3 items in my contact list here, right? So you can see that I'm using as a value, we have in any dictionary, we have key and value pair, right? So as a value, I simply use a list of strings. So I find that list of strings is very nice, very friendly in terms of demo code. However, if you find it to be, like, tempting for you to populate it with more items, and like you could you could continue working on this type of application, and you decide to add emails and some other values to the contact information, then you can add other things. But I'm just using this minimalistic approach to say, okay, my value is just the name of the person, or organization, I suppose, right? And the phone number. And you can see I'm using very arbitrarily formats, like, I can use some punctuation in the phone number, and so on and so forth. No restrictions. Now, this is an interesting part here, that in the syntax, when a dictionary object is created, Python interpreter knows that the opening curly brace, right? This is a curly brace syntax right here, is telling Python that what we're just about to create is a dictionary object. Okay, so then in the syntax, we have just this list of key and value pairs separated by commas, and the key and the values are separated themselves by the colon sign. But this is something interesting, right? So I thought how, like, I could just hard code this to some values. Like I could just say 1, right? I could just say 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Just getting a lot of prompts from this environment here, 1, 2, 3, and likewise, right? But this would be sort of like a little bit unrealistic and a little bit boring to do. So I decided to use more dynamic index. Okay, so I'm just going to get back the code that I had in place. And I thought originally that if I maybe try to make an assignment like this, right? So I start with some integer value like 0 or 100, really any value. And I increment this value, right? And just modify the index on the fly to keep it unique, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or if I started from 100, right? Then I could say 101, 102, 103 without any hard coding. Okay, I thought it'd be nice to be able to increment the index in place, right? For example, in C programming language, you can do something like this, ++ index, right? So which increments index in place, and in any expression you can use something like this. Maybe it's not exactly very appropriate similarity here, but this is the idea for those who knows the C programming language. So then I discovered that in Python, in those statically defined dictionaries, you cannot just use an assignment. However, you can use this walrus operator, which, by the way, officially is explained in this under this link. Walrus operator, this is Python 3.8. Assignment expressions can be expressed. So you can read this article, but you don't have to. So this is what I decided was very nice, that if you actually do use colon equals, which is this walrus operator, you can just modify the index all you want, because the interpreter really just goes through like this code one line at a time and increments the index for me, and I get this sort of like, generic way of doing things without a lot of hard coding. So I just assign an initial index. Originally, I think we had 100. And if we do this, the indices will be 1 to 3, because we say index equals index +1. So this is just like an assignment, but allow us to do it in line when we define dictionaries, and in many other places where it becomes useful, like with lambda expressions, which is the topic for another presentation. Okay, so we have this. And this is what I call pre-populated list of contacts, and this is all you need to do to get started with this homework. So for debugging purposes, of course, this is incredibly useful and convenient to just say print contacts, just show me what I have in there, right? And yeah, so that this would be super nice to just, if we could control how this is printed, but it's not an acceptable format. You just need to make it nice. The next part that we're going to talk about with respect to this new homework is what are the search requirements. When we already have contacts, now we want to search for a specific contact. So requirement number 1 is that a search, if we have a search text that is entered by the user, and we have an exact match for an existing index key, right? Index or key in this dictionary. Like, for instance, if I type 2, okay, I have an exact match with an existing key. So simply print this specific item right here, and you're done. Just return to the user prompt. You really don't have to do any more than this. However, if the user enters a full contact name or a partial contact name, right? They just remember like first name of the person and not the last name, or some sort of complete or partial phone number, or any combination of the above. Any qualifying substring match just like we did in the previous homework, should be included in the search results. Okay, so that's the way we're going to require the searches to be conducted in this application. So I'll do a demo of this a little bit later on. And of course, direct suggestion is to consider using the substring match algorithm, which we already covered in our previous homework project.